What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Shivs. Welcome back to another video. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking all about how to maximize your damage on your Assassination Rogue in the War Within in single target. So we're going to be talking about raid. I'm going to be giving you a bunch of tips and tricks, how you can see things such as what the top rogues are playing right now for each boss, when they're using cooldowns. We're going to go through the opener and general rotation, and I'll finish off the video just by showing you a quick VOD as well as me just killing a normal boss just for a bit of fun, so you can see all these tips in action. A little bit about me as well. My background in raiding is quite extensive. I've raided for a very, very long time in WoW. I've taken a few breaks over the years. A long time ago, I used to raid in a Hall of Fame guild. These days, I'm just sort of a bit of a washed-up vet, just sort of playing with friends for fun. But I still try and challenge myself to get good passes when I raid, and we're still doing Mythic progress. But yeah, I try to aim for that kind of top 20 percentile in all content that I'm always doing. So hopefully I can give you some tips and tricks today. All right, let's get into the video. Okay, first things first, there's sort of two builds that people are playing right now. Firstly, there's this more bleed-orientated single target build, okay, with improved growth and shrouded suffocation. Now this does change the rotation in your opener slightly. What I'd recommend doing is simming this build and also simming the poison build, which is this one here, where we're picking up improved poisons and dashing scoundrel instead of improved growth and shrouded suffocation, and sim it on a 5-minute patchwork. And if you're not sure how to sim, firstly download the Simulation Craft add-on, put in that talent build that you want to sim, then you can type sim C, copy and paste the script it generates, go over to Raidbots and do a 5-minute simulation. Just copy and paste the code into a 5-minute patchwork simulation. Patchwork means no movement. So it's an old Wrath Lich King fight where there was no movement whatsoever, and it was essentially a DPS test where you got to just pump the boss. So with that being said, what you'll find is that sometimes, even that you're simming higher on the poison build, you might be better off playing the bleed build, depending on the encounter. The best way that you can check this is 2 seconds. Let me just throw up a window. Is go to Warcraft logs. All right, go to the boss that you're looking at. So let's just go to start with the first one here. Go to rankings, and then go to your class and specialization, and then you can see a breakdown of the top 100 talents that have been selected for the top 100 passes. Right, passes being the best damage logs that we've got for those bosses. So as you can see on this first fight. Interesting. I didn't actually realize this. People are playing the Cleave build. They're playing Caustic Spatter, and they're playing the Bleed build there as well. And some people are dropping Vicious Venoms as well. So, okay, so interesting. So people are starting to min-max damage a little bit. Oh, this is Mythic, that's why. Obviously, the ad's got a lot more health on Mythic, more value in the Cleave. When we go to Heroic, people are still cleaving. Okay, that's interesting. But what you can do here is cycle through the bosses. Let's look at Nexus, for example. Nexus Princess is a pure single target fight. So what we'll see there is people sub out Caustic Spatter, they take Internal Bleeding instead, and it's it's actually looking like people are starting to play the poison build a bit more, which is interesting. Yeah, so that does change the opener. So you can check logs to see what builds people are playing, and just change your talents before each pull, and that's one way that you'll maximize damage. You know, sims aren't everything, because in these encounters, some of these fights have lots of movement, and so therefore you'd get more value out of bleeds, things like that. So just check the log, see what people are playing. Another great website is Lorrgs. I think it's pronounced Lorrgs. I'll put a link down below. Here you can choose your spec, make sure you're on heroic difficulty, choose a boss, and then you'll see the main timeline at the top of their abilities, and then you can choose for the top 100 passes. Again, you can see when people are pressing cooldowns. So for example, if you want to see when people are pressing Vanish and Deathmark, you can see they're pretty much using those together, mostly for those improved growths during the opener, which is something we'll talk about. Which is also interesting because most people aren't playing this build anymore. So I think there's a lot of rogues just on muscle memory still doing the old rotation, which is probably what's happening here. Cool, so let's talk about the opener. So you're going to be looking at this visual here that Whisper's put together. This is over on Wowhead. Okay, in this specific example, let's just talk about the bleed build to keep it simple. The reason there's a note here about Vicious Venoms is in M+, usually we're not playing Vicious Venoms in a Deathstalker build right now. So with that being said, There's only one tiny change, which is if you're not playing Vicious Venoms, you'll use Fan of Knives when you have the Clear the Witness buff. Okay, and you get the Clear the Witness buff every time you apply Deathstalker's Mark to a new target. So that just becomes a high priority builder instead of Mutilate. That's the only change. Okay, and I have a weak aura for that, and I will ignore it completely right now because I'm not playing Vicious Venoms. I'm playing. Sorry, I am playing Vicious Venoms. In which case, Mutilate does more damage, and we can ignore it. Right. So we ambush to apply Deathstalker's Mark. We then Garrote Rupture, Bone Spike, which we play in this build, is going to refund us a talent point, and we're going to spend that on Slice and Dice. Then we do Echoing Reprimand. Now, if you land on an Anima Charged combo point, what is an Anima Charged combo point? It's an empowered combo point that represents maximum potential combo points. So, I'm going to press Echoing Reprimand. We have 2 combo points there. We're not on a blue empowered combo point, so we're going to just do another Mutilate to get on one. That's all that part of the rotation means. If you land on one of these blue super powered combo points, you're all good to carry on. You don't need to do another Mutilate. I will put links to these weak auras down below so that you can use these for yourselves. You literally cannot maximize your damage without a great set of weak auras. I mean, you could, but it's just going to be 10 times harder, and all the visual information you need is in this weak aura pack. This is a custom version of Lorrgs that I put together. I will put a link down below. Get your hands on that. Cool. So once we envenom, you get slight damage increase by sending cooldowns whilst Envenom's up on the target, which is why we get the Envenom going first. We then just slam everything. So here's a good example of a macro that you can use to macro your unused trinket, your potion, any racials that you want to add in there, and Deathmark all together. Okay, so we're going to do that. We are then going to Shiv. If you're in M+, you'll only have 1 Shiv, okay, in your build, and therefore you won't Shiv until the last 8 seconds of Kingsbane. However, in this build, we have 2. This is our raid build. We have 2 Shivs. So we're going to Shiv, Kingsbane, and T into a Mutilate. At this point, nothing really matters too much. Okay, if you've done this, you've done the hard part. All right, you've got the Kingsbane off, you've done the T, happy days. At this point, we're just kind of following a normal rotation, which is just builders and spenders. So Mutilate to build combo points, and Venom to spend combo points. I'll add a little note on the screen about how many combo points you should be spending in Venom on. I think I do 6+. Cool, yeah, and then we're playing the improved Garrote build. So because Deathmark duplicates all bleed damage, we will Vanish to Garrote again, and then we'll have improved Garrote for the 6 seconds after the Vanish, which does more damage, and it's duplicated by Deathmark. After that point, Bob's your uncle, builders and spenders, right? And an important note, make sure we Shiv as soon as that first Shiv expires on the target, which you'll see in your weak aura pack right here. Okay, so that's the opener. Next thing, let's look at that, and then we'll talk about T. Okay, so let's demonstrate this. We're gonna go ambush, Garrote, Rupture, Slice and Dice, Echoing Reprimand, get on a combo point, Envenom, all cooldowns into a Shiv T, Kingsbane, and then we're gonna do we Vanish there to send the improved Garrote, builders and spenders, Shiv, business as usual. Right, we just carry on. It's my Clear the Witness weak aura that I'm completely ignoring because it's not relevant to this build. Probably should add a load aura to it to bugger off when I don't want to look at it. Cool. Now, outside of your general burst, the opener, a couple of small things. Rule number 1, never cap energy. Okay. Rule number 2, you want to chain Envenoms as much as possible. Okay, and this is where pooling comes in. So what you'll see right now is I'm regenerating energy. Also keen not to let that Darkest buff expire, Darkest Night buff. All right, and now what I'm able to do is chain those Envenoms. I want to do that because Envenom increases application of poison chance on the guy I'm hitting. So yeah, so a good if you run out of energy and you're struggling to chain Envenoms, what you want to do is pool your energy up to around 180 to 200, and then just start going into this Envenom. All right, so that's pooling energy. That's really important. Next thing we're going to talk about is how to use T effectively. Okay, so T restores 100 energy and boosts your mastery by 13.6%, aka big damage buff. Okay, because mastery, where's my mastery? Mastery increases damage done by poisons and bleeds by 50% right now for me, which is all from my mastery. Okay, and if I pop T, let's have a look here. We're at 48%, and now we're 62% from poisons and bleeds. So, when to T? Just T when you run out of energy, basically. Is it? No. So, as a general rule of thumb, you always want 1 T for your burst windows, which are every minute, and this ability has a 1-minute recharge. So, generally speaking, that kind of happens naturally. It's pretty hard to screw that up, but just bear that in mind. You want to have a charge of T ready into that burst window. Don't use it if you bottom out of energy just before your burst window. That would be a waste. You'll find a rhythm for when to best use this. I mean, we're following the rules from earlier, right? We want to keep the bleeds up on the target at all times. We want to keep envenom chaining as much as possible. When you're struggling to do those two things, that's when you're going to T. Okay. So right now, I'm just going to keep hitting envenom and mutilate until I reach a problem. Right now, I need to reapply Garrote and Rupture, right? And my envenoms might start to bottom out a little bit here. I'm just gonna pool, and I'm gonna pool my energy, just chain the envenoms. If at any point for any reason you start struggling with this, you can press T. All right, don't cap charges of T. That's pretty much a fundamental rule. Don't make sure you're not sitting on 3 charges of T, because you could be getting a damage buff out of it and it could be recharging. Another thing as well, at the end of the fight, make sure you have no charges of T left. Okay, so if you get to like the last 30 seconds of the fight, the boss is on like less than 10% health. There's no point sitting on multiple charges of T. Just send that and do a bit of extra damage. That's what I would say. All right, some general rotational stuff then. So basically, what we need to really look at here is these first 4 points. Slice and Dice is never really going to drop off because of Cut to the Chase. Okay, it's just like infinitely extended. If it does drop off, just reapply it. You only need to spend minimal combo points on it. Less combo points the better. Okay, anything like 7 combo points into Slice and Dice is a huge waste. Maintain Garrote and Rupture. Okay, Rupture with 5+ combo points. If you don't have 5 combo points, just build with Mutilate until you're at 5+, reapply, and carry on. Okay, and then cast Echoing Reprimand on cooldown. No need to hold this for the burst, just spend it on cooldown. It's going to help you with your energy management overall, meaning that you can spend less builders, which means your energy is just going to climb and climb and climb. Okay, all right, let's talk about the 1-minute burst. Okay, so the 1-minute burst, really easy. So essentially it's everything in the opener but without Deathmark. So we're just going to kind of find ourselves into this rotation here. Okay, so just get Envenom up, and then we're going to go Shiv T Kingsbane, and then we just do our normal builders and spenders, and then we just reapply Shiv when it runs out, and we do this every minute. So Shiv's running out, and then there we go, reapply Garrote, and I'm going to T because I'm low on energy. That's the 1-minute burst window. We do that every minute. Okay, every 2 minutes we do it again, but with Deathmark, and we just remember to press Deathmark before the rest of those buttons. So we just add Deathmark into the beginning of that with the Trinket again, which is automatically macroed in. And that's it. Really easy spec to play in Raid in single target. Very, very difficult spec to play in M+. Really easy to play in Raid. So there's the trade-off. The Iron Claw Whetstone on the weapons. We're going to be running the Flask of Alchemical Chaos, okay, which is all standard stuff. All standard stuff. I'm still using last season's rune just because the current runes cost a fortune. Poisons, standard stuff. Atrophic, Crippling, Amplifying, and Deadly. Obviously get your food buff. Okay, so the build we're going to be playing is a Cleave build. I'm personally playing a Poison build. There's sort of 2 builds that rogues mostly play right now. You're going to be playing Caustic Spatter in any fights that have lots of Cleave. Most important thing with this fight is try and get the bleeds on him when he's going to fly. Alright, Ambush, Garrote, Rupture, Slice and Dice, Echoing Reprimand, Potion and Deathmark, Shift T Kingsbane into all the damage. Make sure we reapply Shiv. I'm actually going to hold the energy because I could re-T there, but you know it has value for me in the fight when I bottom out my energy. It means I can do more Envenoms. So personally, I'm going to hold it. Apply Rupture. Okay, so having a look at the timers here, we have ads in 28 seconds, which lines up pretty well with Kingsbane. If the ads die slowly, we should be able to... I'm going to T here because I'm low on energy. I'm going to save my next T for the Kingsbane window, and I'm going to start pooling energy, which means I'm going to wait till I get to 180 energy, and then I'm going to go into an Envenom, and then I'm going to start chaining Envenoms. So that's really important. Maximizes your uptime. Okay, bosses. Okay, we have ads here, and we have Kingsbane. That's really nice. So I'm going to Shiv T Kingsbane and cleave off the boss. Make sure Caustic Spatter's up. Fan of Knives to build combo points. That was really nice. Okay, now Garrote. Reshiv. I was a bit slow there with the reshiv. I missed out on some value. I'm going to re-T. Keep pumping. We're flying. Okay, ideally I would have reapplied Rupture before this, but it's done. We'll Shadow Step, get Rupture up. We didn't even drop off. That's good. Make sure we get Rupture up. No, the boss. I fucking hate this guy. I'm gonna health stone there. Okay, that's a soak. So we're gonna jump in that last second. Wow, we're actually struggling a little bit here. Going to go back to pooling energy, so we're going to get to 180, and then we're going to go back into these Envenom windows. So on 180, Envenom. And we have full burst window. We're going to check the ad timer. I can't see it. Oh, we have ads in 4 seconds. We will hold. We will hold. I'm not going to wait entirely for the ads. I'm going to T here. And I'm just going to start sending now, and I think we're going to overlap with the ads. Went a bit too soon, probably. Maybe it works. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. We'll shift. Fan of Knives, cleaving off the boss hard, Caustic Spatters up. Pretty happy with that, The ads died really fast, so I didn't really lose much value by sending a little bit early. And hopefully it means I get another Kingsbane before the end of the fight. Holy. Go back to pulling energy here, so we're going to get to 180 before sending this. Actually, we're okay. We're about bang on our energy right now. Standing the AMZ, popping it. I do have Faint, but I'll only press it if I need to, because it uses energy. Sprint here, Crimson Vial in between this. Looking good. Oh, he's going to fly again. What a noob. Alright, we have a Kingsbane window, so we're gonna go Shiv T Kingsbane. We'll run into that last second just to maximize. Kingsbane. I let Rupture drop off there because I prioritized cleaving or Caustic Spatter onto the ads. Go back to chaining. I'm gonna cloak this, I don't know. Oh. Kind of hoping I could cloak. Ads. I'm really tempted to shiv this, but just start sending cooldowns. Garrote. Fainting that, Crimson Veil. Kind of missed my shift there, but just keep going. Caustic Spatter, reapply that. Back to single target. I managed to reapply the Garrote just as he flied off. Hopefully you found this video useful. I'll be keeping you up to date with all the latest tweaks and changes for the Assassination Rogue throughout the season. So make sure you hit subscribe and come back and check out all the next videos if you want to keep up to date with how to do as much damage as possible this season in both M+ and Raid. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for tuning in.